Hey, how's it going? My name is Justin, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Mona. Today, I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on how to use our Unity template to get started and build your own 3D space that you can upload and explore and share in Mona. Let's dive right in. All right, so first step is to visit our website, that's mona.gallery, where at the top you'll see a link that says Build a Space. So you click that, and that'll take you straight to our documentation page. Now remember, at any point, if you have any questions or need any help or feel stuck with something, please jump into our Discord and ask. We're here to help you along the way, and we're building a really great, creative, supportive community of builders, artists, collectors, and we're all here to help. So feel free to ask away. First step is to install Unity. Unity is totally free for you to download and use, so you just follow this link and you can download any version from 2020.3.18 and higher. Okay, once you've downloaded Unity, you want to come back to this page and you want to download our space template. So if you just follow this link to our GitHub page, that brings you to our Mona official space starter. You click on this button here, code, and download zip. All right, now once you've downloaded that file, you're going to find it in your downloads folder and see this button, extract all. You're going to extract all, and you're going to choose the location where you want to extract it to. I've already created a folder, so I'm going to select that folder, and I'm going to hit extract. Now, once that's complete, you're going to go to Unity, open up your Unity hub, and under projects, you're going to click add. Now here, you're going to want to navigate to where you extracted that folder from. So I have it right here, Mona Unity tutorial. I've added it into my own folder. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to select that folder, space starter main, select folder, and it's going to add it to my Unity hub here. And you'll see it already recognizes the Unity version I'm on. So then to launch the project, I'm just going to click on that, and it's going to load it up in Unity. All right. Now we're inside our space starter main Unity template project. First things first, you're actually going to want to go into the scenes folder, and you're going to want to open up, double click on this Mona template scene. So what we have here is our sample play space that is 50 by 50 by 50 meters. And so everything that you're building, you're going to want to make sure it fits inside this play area space. Now, this doesn't include the skybox. If you'll notice, if this is your first time opening up Unity, the skybox is going to extend beyond the play space, and that's totally fine. But this is the only area where your player avatar is actually going to be able to travel. But actually, first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to navigate down in my project window, assets. I'm going to go over to example assets. And you'll see these contain prefabs for everything we're seeing in the scene. So we have a floor prefab and this sort of box boundary prefab as well. We also have an avatar prefab. So I'm going to click on the avatar and I'm going to drag it into the window, and I'm just going to drop it right there. Now if I zoom in here, you'll see we provided you with this avatar prefab so you can get a sense of scale for your scene. Now 50 by 50 meters is pretty large. We don't want you to feel overwhelmed, so you don't have to feel like you have to fill the entire space. This is just the maximum space that your avatar and camera is going to be able to travel. So please feel free to build a space that's even smaller if you'd like. And so you could drop in your little avatar here to get a good sense of scale for all the objects and things that you're going to place into your scene. Now, a couple things I want to highlight here. In our hierarchy, you'll see we have a couple of things that we've set up for you already to get you started. And we want to make this as easy as possible for you. So everything that we're doing is living in this space prefab. So you're not going to rename that. You can leave that as is. And then if you turn that down, you'll see we have a couple other prefabs in here. We have scene objects, artifacts, and portals. Scene objects, if you check that out, this is where you're going to place all of the objects that you're importing from other programs. Now I'm going to show you how to import your 3D objects that you've created in programs like Blender, Cinema 4D, Maya, or even Gravity Sketch or different VR programs. I'm going to show you how to bring them into your Unity project here. So under Assets, you're going to find this folder, Add Your Art Here. You're going to double click on that. Now you're going to right click, import new asset. Now you're going to navigate to the folder where you have all of your FBX files. So I'm going to bring these in one by one. First, I'm going to start with this model here. I'm going to click import. And there we go. It appears in my scene window. Now all I have to do is click on this and drag and drop it right on top of scene objects, and it's going to add it to that little folder there. And voila, we have our first FBX model in our Unity scene. Now you'll see why it's so important we brought in this avatar to really give you a sense of scale and how big your models are going to be. So feel free to resize this if you need to. You'll see in the top corner here, we have the scale button. So I'm going to scale this down. Or not, I actually kind of like that sort of massive size. Maybe I'll just move it to the side here. Now you'll notice one thing, the materials actually didn't import with the model. So I have to bring those in separately. So once again, I'm going to right click, import new asset, and I'm going to click on my textures here. I have an albedo map and a normal map. So I'm going to highlight both of them, import, and it's going to import them into my scene. Now I'm going to right click again, create, material, and you'll see it's going to create a standard material for us. And I'm just going to call this cliff material. I'm going to drag this and drop it on top of the object in the window, and that applies that material. You can check that if you actually select the cliff, you'll see cliff material is now on there. Now, when I click on cliff material, it's going to bring up all the properties here. So the albedo map, you can just click and drag and drop right on this square, and you'll see it pops a texture on there. And now we want a little more detail. So we're going to use the normal map here. We're going to click and drag onto normal map. You'll see it gives us a lot of that fine detail while still remaining optimized. You'll notice there's some like super shininess kind of going on. Now you can start to play with the smoothness and metallic settings. So since this is a rock material, I'm just going to drop the smoothness pretty much all the way down. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, one thing you're going to want to note, in order to keep things optimized, we recommend that your texture sizes stay at around 1024 by 1024. You could try doing 2048 by 2048, but we're going to stress that you test early and test often with your builds here. So I'm actually going to click on this texture file. And it's okay if you bring in a larger size than 1024. This is actually an 8K texture. But on your texture file, you're going to want to go over to max size. And you can click on 1024 here to reduce that max size. So that's going to keep your scene optimized. I'm going to do the same. It's going to ask you to apply. So you want to apply that. And you'll see it's going to crunch that texture down. I'm going to do the same for the normal map. You'll see it's also at 8K. I'm going to select 1024 and click apply right here. There we go. Okay, now we want you to test early and test often. I'm going to keep saying that. So now we're going to get ready to asset bundle this and actually test it in the web browser right inside of Mona. So I'm going to click on space up here, and then I'm going to go over to the inspector where it says overrides. I'm going to click on overrides, and I'm going to click apply all. Now this is basically going to save all these changes that I've been making to this space prefab. Now I'm going to go up to assets, build asset bundles, and this is going to build this asset bundle for us, which is what we're going to drop into the web browser for you to explore. So that'll just take a second to build. And now you might get a notification for your normal map. It's going to want you to mark a texture you're using as a normal map in the import settings. So you could fix now, and that'll fix it for you. Okay, so now your prefab space has been asset bundled. So now we're going to jump over to the web browser, and we're going to test this out. And we're going to navigate to mona.gallery untitled.playground. Now this is our super easy playground web app that will let you drag and drop your asset bundles right into the browser so you can dive right into Mona and start exploring your scene. So let's try it out. I'm going to show you where to find your asset bundle now. You're going to navigate to your folder with the Unity template project. Double click on that. Double click on assets. Double click on streaming assets. And this is where your asset bundle is going to be. So you'll see we have it right here, space. You don't have to worry about these other ones. We just need the one that says space. And you'll also note the size of the asset bundle. So this is just over, it's about 1.5 MB. So that's really good. Your asset bundle is going to need to stay below 150 megabytes. Ideally, you'll want it under 100, but we want you guys to try to push the boundaries a little bit here. And this is why, you know, if it starts to get pretty high, we want you to be able to test this as quickly and as frequently as possible to make sure your scene looks the way you expect it to look. So I'm going to click on space and drag it right onto the website. I'm going to drop it there and it's going to load it up. And boom, you'll see we just dropped into our space and there's our cliff. If I hit the V key here, I'm going to go into third person mode and there we are. So we're right in our example scene previewing this FBX model that we just imported. And you'll see we have these other objects in here as well. So how cool is that? Super easy to go from Unity right into Mona to drop in the assets as you're building, and you can test out how they're looking and how it's running. This is running pretty great. Check that out. Oh, you see how I'm running right through it. I didn't put the colliders on it. So this is a good point. So now we've noticed something is kind of going on with our scene here. It's not so natural to have your avatar running through your objects. So let's hop back over to Unity. So back into Unity, I'm going to select the cliff that we brought in. So with the cliff selected, I'm going to go to Add Component, and I'm going to click on a box collider. And now you'll see it's going to add this collider object, which is basically just a box that's going to extend to the bounds of the object. With this collider, it's going to make it so that your avatar can't go through the actual cliff. Something you might want to do with the box collider, basically this cube, these are going to be the bounds. So we actually might not want to use a box collider. I'm going to remove that, and I'm actually going to search for mesh collider instead. So now there's a mesh collider on our cliff. If I hide the mesh renderer, we'll see this is the actual mesh collider that's happening. So it basically takes the underlying geometry from the object and creates a collision object for you. So now it's going to be a little more exact than that box collider was, but there are trade-offs. You'll see we have way more polygons here for the mesh collider. So it's basically like having a duplicate of your mesh in the scene. So this is why, you know, mesh collider is great if you want more sort of finer collisions. So now, as opposed to the box collider, you'll actually be able to get into like this crevice here with your avatar. But, you know, there could be performance trade-offs. So you do want to make sure you test this, which is what we're going to do now. So now that we've made some edits to our scene, once again, I'm going to click on space. I'm going to click on overrides, apply all. And then we're going to go to assets, build asset bundles once more. And I'm going to find the streaming assets folder once again. I'm going to drop in space, and it's going to load it up into the playground. And here we are once again. So now, if I run up to the cliff, you'll see I run right into it with that collider on there. I can even start climbing. All right, so I think that's going to do it for this tutorial. You know, I showed you how to get started with our Unity template. I showed you how to import your first 3D objects that you've created outside of Unity to bring them into the Unity template. And I showed you how to export your scene as an asset bundle and then drop it into our Mona playground to test. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to get a little bit deeper with our template, where we're going to bring in portal objects and also different NFT artifacts. Thanks for joining. And once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to jump into our Discord and ask. I'll talk to you soon.